Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new session of INFI's online quarter course on professional development. My name is Maria Soriano. I'm the CEO and co-founder of INFI Foundation, and it is my great pleasure to welcome our speaker today, Lisa Whitman. Thank you so much for being with us today and presenting this important topic about how to manage stress and mental health. Thank you. But before to give Lisa the floor, I want to tell you important information that is happening at INFI right now. So in the next slide, I just want to show you that the universities that are partners of INFI are recruiting right now the talent that will be part of our platform this new academic year that we will start in November. So if you are part of these universities, I really encourage you to apply to the calls to be part of this platform. So in the next slide, I want to show you that if you get selected to be part of our platform, you will be part of this network of talent that will reunite this new academic year will reunite more than 350 talents from all over the world, including the top students and professors from our partner universities, and also includes highly qualified professionals working at top international organizations such as Harvard, MIT, Google, just to name a few. These international professionals, through the different programs that we have, will become mentors and collaborators, mentors of the students and collaborators of the professors. So next, I want to show you that if you get selected, you will have access to all these programs. Our communication platform, INFI Connects, that really democratize the access of ideas and knowledge from these top organizations is where you start sharing ideas and you have all this knowledge in real time from these innovative ecosystems. We also have the selected students who will have, through the International Mentor Program, the opportunity to have a mentor that will help in their careers. It will help you in your careers in case you get selected. Also, the best students will have the opportunity to win fellowships, to conduct internships at top international organizations such as Harvard or MIT. Also, as part of this platform, we have these quarter courses like today, where we provide important information for everyone in the platform to succeed in their careers. We have a full program also for professors to promote innovation in research and teaching, and we have the opportunity, everyone that is selected will have the opportunity to become an entrepreneur through our global idea competition. And everyone in the platform will have the opportunity as well to participate in our international conference that has this format of innovation camp. All these programs have the objective to help you to create this, what we call this 360-degree career profile, a profile more international, more innovative, and more excellent. So next, if you like to be part of this network, I really encourage you to submit your applications now. As I said, the universities have opened the call, so you can register. You can find the calls in our website in the main page. Just scroll down a bit and you can find all the links there for the calls. And next, just encourage you also to follow us on social media, because there we will update you with important information about career development that will be interesting for you. If you are here, I'm sure it will be interesting. Next, just let's start talking about this quarter course. This quarter course is certified with 30 hours, and you need to be a student or professor at one of our partner universities. And to get the diploma, you need to fulfill the 3 requirements. Attend the live master classes from today, so please, at the end, fill out the exit survey that will pop up in your browser. Also, you have to watch the recorded master classes and complete the practical exercises. When you finish with this, you just have to send an email to qc@infi.org requesting the diploma. And remember that we will have the syllabus of the course updated with the link to this masterclass in our website. In the section of Global Education International Courses, you can find there. And yeah, it's time now to start the masterclass. The topic today is really important. We are going to talk about managing anxiety and mental health for career success, and we cannot find a better speaker for this topic than Lisa Whitman. She is an expert in stress management in everyday business life. Her mission is to ensure that success does not come at the expense of mental health. As a former workaholic, she lived an unhealthy work lifestyle for a long time, which came at the expense of her health. She knows from her own experience how excessive stress can have a physical and mental impact and what it means to find yourself in a burnout spiral. Today, she uses her personal experience combined with her in-depth specialist knowledge as a speaker and certified stress and burnout coach to help numerous people remain successful in the long term in a healthy way, giving them the tools to manage anxiety and mental health. Thank you so much. Lisa, it's fantastic to have you here. And before to start, yes, I want to remember that if you have any questions related to the presentation today, just leave them in the Q&A. Important questions in the Q&A, you can interact through the chat, but Lisa will be so kind to answer all your questions at the end. Thank you again, Lisa. The floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, and hi to everyone. Thanks for this nice introduction. I would like to introduce myself a bit more. What you can see here is me in one of the hardest time of my life. What you can see is me sitting on vacation in Spain, and you might think vacation, wow, nice and beautiful, relaxing. But for me, it just felt empty. I felt broken, as if I had run a marathon, lonely, even though I was there with my husband. I was just like paralyzed and could hardly do anything except sitting on the balcony and look into the distance and the sea. And let me give you a little background for a better understanding. After my studies, I slipped into the IT industry by chance. I got a professional at a large company with global operations, and I worked there for 4 years before I moved up the career ladder. And I was assigned to a leading role in a large transformation project. And I worked with passion, I worked with commitment, motivation, with the goal to be successful. And this then turned at one point into judginess, pressure, and unhealthy perfectionism. So stress was really my daily companion. In addition, my will to prove myself, to get recognition. And yeah, I become a real workaholic. My day consisted only of work, eating if there was time, and that was not always the case. Sleeping, not that much. And at some point, life just ran past me, and I realized that stress, the constant tension, had overrun me. Mentally, I had not been there 100% for a while, but only when my body cried out, I pulled the emergency brake. And that's where we are now in the picture. This was the point where I noticed that I have slipped into a burnout spiral, and the point I decided that professional success should never be paid for with help, not mine, and also not anyone else's. And after recovering mentally and physically, then I quit my job. And that's why I'm here now speaking in front of you and doing this masterclass today with you. because now I combine my professional knowledge from my studies with my personal experience with stress and burnout and help many people to live more relaxed and healthier. And as Maria said, until today, the reason for my work and what I stand for is that professional success must not come at the expense of mental health. So again, to finish this introduction, my name is Lisa. I'm an expert for stress management in business and a burnout coach. And as a former workaholic, I really know how excessive stress can affect you physically as well as mentally. And today I guide numbers of people to create a more relaxed workday and boost their mental health to be successful in a healthy way in the long run instead of burning out after a few years. And the biggest mistake I did in the past was to took mental health for granted. And I don't want you to do the same. And that's why we are here today talking about the topic of managing stress, anxiety, and mental health. And we will have like an interactive part. You can use your smartphones to scan this code. And if you have scanned the code, you should see another slide. You should see the question, which is, why are you here today? If you can see this question, you can answer it. Just type in a few words. Why have you registered for this course today? And we will have a look at the answers here. Hopefully it's working, but I tried it before. Oh yeah, please share the link. Oh, it's just, you can just go on menti.com and then put in this number. The number is here again, quite big, and also you will find it here. So maybe we can have a look now. Oh yeah, there are many responses. Okay, learn, joy, family, future. So it seems like the link is working. That's quite a good question to start because the purpose, your why, is one of the important things you should answer, or you should have an answer for if you want to change things. So it's getting more and more here. I don't know why it's not in a real time on my, I can show you also the real time thing. So it's getting more and more. So the most common answer is learn. That's quite good. We can switch to the next question, which is bringing us directly into the topic. What is anxiety? Just think about what anxiety is for you. Maybe you can get some answers here. Just put in your thoughts. There's no right or wrong. Disease, overthinking, illness, sadness, feeling bad, insecurity, not able to cope. Oh yeah, there are good things in it. Yeah, just ask yourself, what is anxiety for me? And just go into action. So anxiety is a common emotion. It's an emotional reaction to a perceived threat or danger. So it's something really common, something natural. And it almost has physical as well as psychological effects. And it originally serves as a survival mechanism. So maybe you know that fight or flight mode in stressful situations, and anxiety therefore is a part of stress. Yeah, a stress reaction, anxiety is a stress reaction, a reaction to a stressful situation. And of course, it comes with psychological changes. For example, that your heart rate is moving up, faster breathing, and so on. And we have to distinguish between two aspects. We have the occasional anxiety and we have anxiety disorders. And if I have a look at your answers, there are also some words like disease, illness, but there are also things like overthinking, crying, not feeling good. So we have two different things here. And the occasional anxiety, it's something like it's really temporary. We all have that. We are all know ourselves worrying about things, having fear of things. And that's something which is really a normal part of life and what's also really human as a reaction to stress. But on the other side, we have anxiety disorders, which are a category of mental health diagnosis that involve excessive nervousness, fear, worry. So it's a persistent concern of the fear. And that could be really diffuse over time without a clear trigger. Occasional anxiety is always has a clear trigger, like our health, or we are worrying about family problems, or and so on. And if you are going into direction of an anxiety disorder, there is often no clear trigger visible. And anxiety disorder, if you are going into a direction of an anxiety disorder, you really need professional help. I just want to say it here because we are no in a therapist, or I'm not a therapist or something like that. So for anxiety disorders, you absolutely need professional help and support by a psychologist or therapist. And what we are talking about today is more the occasional anxiety as it comes up with stress and is a typical stress reaction. And anxiety is something which starts in your mind. Yeah, I saw here a lot of words, which is overthinking. Yeah, overthinking. So many guys that you named here as I asked you what anxiety is for you. And thinking is something in your head, and anxiety starts in your head. It comes up from thoughts, and there's the connection to what we are also talking about today, mental health. Anxiety starts in your mind, but mental health does too. And now I want you to answer the next question. What does mental health mean to you? Just think about, what do you think is mental health, or what does mental health means to you? We're just looking if there are some answers coming up. Balance, peace of mind, calm. You can also have a look at what the other ones are writing, but remember, if we are doing here like an interactive part, it's something you do for you. So just ask yourself, these are impulse questions you can answer. You don't have to answer, but if you want to take out the most from today's class, then I really recommend you to just go into your mind and ask yourself these questions or answer yourself these questions. So we have well-being, peace, sleeping well, self-care, feeling peace, stop worrying. So there are so many good answers. Peace in your heart. I like that. Success. Oh, yeah. So that's quite good to see that everyone has its own definition for it. Let's hop into what the common understanding of mental health is, because if you would Google it, there would come up that mental health is the opposite of mental illness. So it's the absence of mental illness. But as you see, no one has answered with that. There are some other answers coming up from your side. That's because mental health is quite more than this. Mental health is about self-care, about happiness, well-being, and also about growing. And I marked here the well-being in another color because I think that's a good word that describes mental health at all. Because there is no yes or no for mental health, and there is no check, you've done that or you're mentally healthy. It's more about a feeling, and well-being is something we can yeah, just register by ourselves quite good, because we can say, do we feel good, or is there something not okay, actually? So we could say that anxiety and feeling well, yeah, or let's switch one step past. So mental health enables us to promote and maintain your own well-being, right? So being mentally healthy means that you are able to get yourself always in a state of well-being. And anxiety and feeling not well cannot exist at the same time. So when there is anxiety, you can't feel well. Just think about that. Just maybe think of a situation where you were anxious. There is not the feeling of, oh yeah, I'm feeling so good and so well. There is more about, oh, it comes up with insecurity, maybe with fear, such feelings like that. But anxiety and feeling well are, yeah, are on two sides of a scale, so they can't exist at the same time. And that's why anxiety prevents us from taking care of ourselves, growing and feeling well. And that's also why anxiety prevents us from maintaining our own mental health. And that means that mental health is also about managing anxiety in an individual and appropriate way. So dealing with it, so we can get ourselves in a state where we are feeling good, we are feeling well. And I now want you to imagine a day where you didn't feel well mentally. Maybe a day full of worries or something like that. What impact does this had to your day? Just think about it. I will open here the answers from your colleagues. That's, by the way, every question here is anonymous, so just feel free to answer that. Imagine a day where you didn't feel well and it was maybe full of worries. What impact does this have to your day? Procrastination, sadness, productivity. I think it's more that you're not so productive. Hopefully that is meant by that. I don't think that if you are feeling anxious, you're more productive. Tired, lack of rest, sadness, illness, don't sleep, unhappiness. Yeah, bad mood, more stress, of course. Yeah. Bad eating. Yeah. Rudeness, back pain, insomnia, absence of hunger, lack of productivity. Yeah. Crying, no sleep, tiredness, unhappiness. Yeah. And now I want you to of oh no, just what's here? Okay. So, what's with the technique here? So now you see that all those or there are many impacts which come up with feeling not good and feeling anxious. So if we switch to the part of mental health, we know now that mental health means well-being. And now I want you to go the other way around. What impact does well-being have on your everyday life? Remember a day where you're just feeling really, really good, feeling mentally healthy. What impact does this had to your day? Or what could you think of? How would your day be? Professional and private. Yeah, productive. There is the productivity, of course. Happiness, energy, fulfillment, motivation, lightness. Yeah, life seems lighter, peace, productivity, fulfillment, happiness. So there are almost things like happiness coming up, lightness, feeling good, productivity. Yeah, willingness to do things. That's come up with motivation, of course. Success, positivity. Yeah. So well-being means in a professional on a professional level, you can work more productive. You are more concentrated. You can work more focused on your things and you can come up with more creative idea. So mental health has been proven to be important not only for your well-being in everyday life, but also has a direct impact on your productivity, creativity, and performance. And so being mentally healthy means feeling good. And if we are feeling good, we are more creative, more productive, as you said in your answers. And only then we are able to come up also with new ideas, innovations, and so on. And perhaps you know this when you're on vacation. Hopefully, you were on vacation this year already. And just relaxing, maybe lying on the pool or on the beach. And suddenly you came up with some good thoughts about a project from maybe the last month or the last week or suddenly or something like that. Hopefully you know that. I know that by myself very, very well. I also remember that from my time in school as I was a teenager, as well as at my time at the university, and also now in my job. That's because your brain works much better when you're feeling good and when you're relaxed. So if you now are working or able to work more concentrated and productive, more focused, what happens? You work more efficient, you can come up with better results, and this means your performance increases. And a better performance always comes with success. Sorry to say that, but there's no success with no performance. Which typically prevent us, or hopefully you can all yes to this, because there are often some guys who say, oh yeah, but I can be successful even if I work less. Yeah, you can do, but you have to bring a performance, right? So it does not mean that you have to be a workaholic and work and work and work and work super, super hard and be exhausted by that. It's more about working more efficient, working, maybe strategically, working with creativity, working with concentration and focus to get or to gain a better performance, which then come up with success. And what typically prevents us from working concentrated and focused are stressors. So let's have a look at stressors. I don't want I don't want to give you all of them by now. I just want you to ask yourself what stresses you out. Or if you don't want to focus on the stress, as I said, I use the anxiety here more in the relation to stress. You can also ask yourself what makes you anxious, if that's more felt more comfortable for you. So what stresses you out? What makes you anxious? Deadlines, deadlines, deadlines. Uncontrolled, no controlling things. My son, yeah, also family could be a stressor. Fear of falling, the school, finding a job, schoolwork, new things, frustration, kids. So the question, what stresses you out, is a really important one if you want to change something. If you are tired of being stressed and you really wish not being stressed anymore, that's where you have to start. Ask yourself, what stresses me out? And we will go into that one a bit later, but just let us move on. So here most common stressors, according to studies and surveys, these are the most common stressors for people in professional life. We have the workload and the time pressure. I find that also here in your answers. Some of you, or the most of you, named deadlines, and also I could see that some are stressed by study work or work, even though there was workload, I read. So it's in general high demands, right? The second thing is, and maybe you can also, I can't find it here in your answers, but maybe you can also relate to it. It's because this time we have so many context switches. So we have so many interruptions. We are maybe working on one project and, oh, there is a WhatsApp coming up or another email, and we just move on to another topic and then go back to the other topic. So we have so many context switches and so many interruptions, which is quite stressful. The third thing is, and I can relate personally really, really good with it, it's people. And we had it here also in your answers. There was family, there was son. Some of you already wrote people there, people's expectation. And by people, I also mean toxic cultures in your environment. People mean also conflicts between you and some other persons. It also means, some bad communication or missing communication, and also the expectations of you to other people or from other people to you. Then we have a common stressor, missing appreciation for what you're doing and also for your results. Maybe you can relate with that. And the last one of the 5 most common stressors are the lack of autonomy. So not having it under control, and or that you cannot decide by your own the most of the things. So that this decision are already fixed by your surrounding. And I have put on 3 more here because as I already saw in your answers, they are really they're also really important stressors for you are insecurity. Maybe you can put the job in brackets. It's insecurity. It's uncertainty about the future of maybe the company or your work, or also your personal career paths. The second one is insufficient resources or support. So it means not receiving the necessary resources, the information, or the support from superiors, from colleagues, from your family to complete your tasks efficiently, effectively, or to reach your goals. And the last one is that boundaries are becoming more and more blurred. That's nothing, or blurred boundaries are not typical answer if you ask what stresses you out. That's because it's more of a result from all the other stressors you can see here on that slide. And maybe you know that by yourself or by watching yourself in your day, that the boundaries are becoming blurred means that there is a lack of work-life balance, if you want to name it like that. So long working hours, sitting on a project until night, the constant availability is also a point, and the feeling of not having time for family, friends, hobbies, and so on. And because that's not really a typical stressor, but more the result of all other stressors, I want to have a look at that with you now in the next few minutes. So, in general, how to handle stressors. As I said, get to know them. If you don't know what stresses you out, you won't change anything. That's quite hard to change something if you don't be aware of what's going on now. So get to know them. And if you now put in as an answer expectations, for example, we had a lot of expectations named here. If you said expectation is one of my stressors, go into it. What expectations? From whom? The expectation to what? So try to find a specific definition for it. That's the second point I mentioned here on the slide. Define them as specific as possible. And the last thing is love it, leave it, or change it. You might know this, quote. Maybe it's a quote. Yeah, I think it's a quote. And in the context of stressors, love means accept things. There are stressors you can just accept, and that's okay. Leave means avoid it. You can also avoid some stressors. If you name people as a stressor, so get to know them would be people. Second one, define them as specific as possible. Whom? Who is it? Yeah, this is the one colleague. You can maybe avoid this person. Try to have as less contact as possible. And change it would be find a way to meet them in a more relaxed way. For example, by changing your attitude. That's more specific for each, or that's really individual for each stressor. We can't go into that detail now, but what I want to discuss with you, and it would lead to my next question, is how to balance professional and personal life. And my first question is, how balanced is your life by now? Would you say it's quite unbalanced between professional and your personal life? Is it rather unbalanced, rather balanced? Or would you say, oh, no, it's quite good balance between those two? Okay, we have rather balanced, rather unbalanced. So it's quite a good mix of it. Let's see what happens again in that slide. Okay, so by now, most of you would say rather balanced. That's quite good to hear. Maybe we can skip now, but I think there are also a lot of you which say unbalanced or rather unbalanced. And I would just give you a bit of tips here, what you can do. So the answer is the question is how to find balance between professional and personal life. The first thing you should do is find a definition for both. What do you mean by personal life? What is personal life for you? Maybe you can put this question maybe on a note to answer it later on. We don't have that much time to go into it by now in detail, but that's a first step. Find the definition. What is professional success or professional life for you, and what means personal life? And then weigh the importance. How important is your personal life for you? Does it have more weight than your professional life? And this could be now that you say, okay, now I'm focusing really on my professional life, and that's more important for me. But it can be switched after time. So you can ask yourself this time from time to time, what is important now? Is there the same importance, or is it 50-50, or would I say I give more weight to my professional life and or more weight to my personal life? And what's really interesting is that working hours are fixed and you have a fixed timetable for studying and so on. But personal life is always the rest. Maybe you know that from yourself, and therefore happens when there is time. So we only do our hobbies or meeting with friends when there is time. So if you focus, or if you want to have a balance between professional and personal life, try to ask yourself, why not planning also with time frames for my personal life when I do it so in professional life? And you can also hobbies with fixed time frames. Yeah, maybe you are registered in a, let's say, yoga lesson. I think so that it's always at the same time in the week. So maybe on Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. And then you go there. But if it's not in your calendar, if you don't have a time frame, then you wait until you have time. And I can promise you the time will never come. So you have to take your time and also use maybe the planning to get in more weight in your personal life. And now, so that was just one impulse from my side, but now we can go deep into the practical practical techniques. Let's see if I can switch this here. Okay, first question. What techniques do you know for managing stress or anxiety? What do you know? Yoga. Yeah, I already mentioned it. Sleep, sport, priorities, breath, mindfulness, meditation, push-ups. Oh yeah. Cry. That's also something which could help. Just let it out. Screaming, breathing, dancing, exercise, hobbies, sharing feeling with others, quite good. Maybe there's a question we have to answer before. Why is mental health, or why is a healthy way of dealing with stress so important in your daily life as well as in business life? Stress and therefore mental health or mental well-being has an impact on how we behave, how we feel, what we think, and also it has an impact on our body. You might know that. And that's why it is so important to manage it. And I say manage it, and also here it stands managing stress and anxiety, because it's not getting rid of it. And you named so many techniques now, and there are, of course, so many methods and techniques that should help managing stress, managing anxiety, and being more relaxed. I have named here at the next slide a few of them, which are most effective and really common. And of course, you are all right with saying breathing exercises, doing yoga, crying. These are all fine. For your career, you will need other ones or additional ones. We have like set clear boundaries. Tell the others what do you want and what do you not want. Learn to prioritize your tasks. Also learn to say no. Improve your time management. Take breaks if necessary, or take breaks regularly before you're tired. Self-care, here all those you named, like yoga, meditating, would go into it. And also clarify your expectations, yours, and also clarify the expectations of others on you. And I don't want to go deep into those techniques because yeah, there are, for example, breathing exercises or meditation, working with physical anchors and so on. But the problem of all these techniques is that is not that they are not helpful, because they are, but they are focusing on handling the symptoms and not the root cause. So yes, they are helpful. And yes, I want you to learn to say no. And yes, you could or please perform yoga if it's fun to you. But in the first step, you have to find out who you are and to what you, for example, want to say no. So if I write here, learn to say no, you first have to be clear about what is your yes and what is your no. Where are your boundaries? To say yes or no, to set boundaries, you have to get first in contact with yourself. You have to get to know yourself better. And there are so many different methods and techniques. How do you know which one fits for you? So we could just have a look at those you named. So there's music, calm mornings, eat, sport, meditation, love with friends. What is the perfect thing for you? So that you have to get to know yourself first. You have to know about yourself better. You have to learn to perceive yourself, to know what is the right method for you. And that's a big mistake most of the people outside will or are doing every day. They're just picking out some methods without starting with the baseline with themselves. And what to do, or what's the best way to get rid of stress or to manage stress, better say, is that one. Could you imagine what this should mean? I have a question for it on the Menti. What do you think is this about? I will make this a bit smaller. What do you think is this about? This gift? What they are doing? Relationships, social support, friendship. Yeah, okay. We can stop. It's about friendship. So the answer is become friends with stress. And what makes a good friendship? You know your friends very, very well. You know how to make him love or her love. You recognize when he or she is not doing well, and you know how best to be there for him or her when he's feeling or she's feeling bad. So you know how to deal with him or her no matter what situation you are in. And that's only because you know each other quite well. And that's the way we can also get friends with our stress, to get to know our stress very well. And if you don't realize what stresses you out, I already said that, what stress feels like to you, how you typically behave in stressful situations, you won't be able to change it in the long run. So the impulse questions you have to answer yourself is, who is this? Who is your stress? Remember, you want to be friends with stress because you want to manage him and want to know how to handle it the best way. So ask yourself, what stresses you out? How does stress make you feel? How do you behave when you are stressed? And how do you physically recognize that you are stressed? So I have a quite good quote for you. A bird is never afraid that the branch below might break, not because it trusts the branch, but because it trusts its own wings. Just remember that, or read it again. Not because it trusts the branch, but because it trusts its own wings. What I would like you to do is never lose faith in yourself. knowing who you are, becoming aware of yourself makes you feel more comfortable. It's not about all the methods. The methods in this case would be the branch. You can't trust only the branch. Just trust yourself because you know yourself best and you know when you're stressed and what helps you then. And I have here really, really good and I think the most effective tool for getting into a better feeling, for handling stress and also anxiety. That's really good for anxiety feelings. It's the Google Maps strategy. What does Google Maps do? It asks you where you want to go, but you will only get a proposal for a way to your target location if you enter where you are now, right? So the clearer the target, as well as your starting location, the more precisely Google Maps would suggest you a way. If you want, for example, to go from Seattle to New York, you can, of course, enter Seattle in Google Maps as a starting location and New York as a target location. But the route will not pick you where you are. It's quite unspecific just to type in Seattle. So what you have to do is the status quo analyzes where are you now. So ask yourself where I'm standing now. What are my current feelings? Don't say Google Maps, I'm not feeling good. Say, what are those feelings? Is it insecurity? Is it fear? Is it overwhelming? And also, what are the stressors? All those things, the feelings, the stressors, your behavior, and also your thoughts can be put into status quo analysis. And then also put in the target. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What is the target feelings you would like to feel? That's a really good and effective strategy if you use it. And please write it down. Don't do it in your head. Please write it down if you use this Google Maps strategy. And to continue for mental health in your career life or in the workplace, on the workplace level, we need to take care of our mental health. We have to maintain it and improve it day after day, both in private as well as in professional lives. And I already said that there is no yes or no to mental health. It is not a goal that can be achieved. It's a process that we have to work on every day. Just as we work on our daily projects and try to make progress, we can learn to work on our mental health. And there are, of course, if you Google, there are so many strategies, but there are only 3 you need to know. These are 3 strategies that matter the most and which will make the difference because they are the basis. So it's defining purpose, speak about, and make mental health a habit. Remember, you can't build the roof of a house with no walls and with no ceiling. The foundation must be in place to benefit, or that you can benefit from the advantages of exercising, like, for example, meditation. But define your purpose, ask yourself, why do I want to improve my mental health? You have to explain it to your brain so that you can suffer from what's then going on. Speak about it, tell others, speak out if you need help. And I think the most effective thing is make it a habit, because mental health is a habit. Remember that. And to make mental health a habit is nothing you will do once a year on Mental Health Day, which is, by the way, the 10th of October, or which was the 10th of October. It's something you can do every day, and I want you to start now. I have here some little impulses how easily start working on your mental health. It could be gratefulness. Just name 3 things you're grateful for right now. Just smile. Just give yourself a smile now. Unfortunately, I can't see your faces now here, but you can see mine, and hopefully you're now smiling back to me. just enjoy things. Enjoy maybe your cup of tea, yeah, your coffee. Give yourself a gift. You don't have to go and buy yourself a new TV or a new laptop. Maybe you can just buy yourself a nice pen you see outside. And what I want you to do now is the one in the middle, give yourself a compliment. I have it here. Give yourself a compliment, a really honest compliment to yourself. You can also write, yeah, you're able. I am enough. You can say you or I, no matter what. You can do that. You are enough. You are kind. Perfect smile. Believe in yourself. I'm good. Yeah, I have empathy. Or I really, really like that compliment. I'm strong and brave. And normally, we don't give ourselves compliments that often. We love to give compliments to others, but yourself. You can take this as a challenge. Every time you give another person a compliment, like saying to someone, "Oh, your hair looked really nice today." After that, give yourself a compliment in your mind. You don't have to speak it out loud because that could be weird for other persons. But take this as a challenge. Every time you give another person a compliment, make yourself also a compliment. And I know we are really running out of time. That's why I want to just sum up a few messages from today's class. Mental health means well-being. Hopefully, you now understand what the connection between mental health and well-being is, and also what the connection between mental health, well-being, and success, your career success. Mental health is not a goal that can be achieved. It's a lifetime process. You have to work on it day by day. Remember, mental health is a habit. And don't do the same mistake than I did, that you took mental health for granted, because mental health cannot be taken for granted. You have to do something for it. And it always starts with you. There are so many methods and strategies. You can use them if you want, but you have to build the foundation. You have to start with yourself, getting to know yourself first, getting a good perception of yourself. It starts with you. And you can't, or please remember those Google Maps strategy. You can't reach a goal if you don't know where to start. You have to give Google Maps a starting location. And of course, you know, there's no success without performance. That's why mental health is a real success factor here. And it all starts with a decision. You can now take the decision or decide for yourself that your mental health is a success factor in your career life, and therefore work on your mental health and work on your stress management. I think there is a bit of time for a short Q&A. If you have to go out, please feel free. Maria and we decided before that if there are questions which are not have been answered because of the time now, sorry for that, but I think, or hopefully there were so many impulses you can take home with you. If there are questions we cannot answer now, I will answer them later, and we will give them to you, or we will spread the answers.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's have a couple of minutes because we are a bit over time, but Adriana is asking, occasionally anxiety and the disorder, I guess it would be acute anxiety, are like acute and chronic states?
Yes, you're right. So occasional is if the anxiety or the feeling of fear is going away after a time. And the disorder would be that that's a chronic state of it, so it's not going away and it's not really could be connected to a trigger. But you're right, yes.
Yeah, Amal is saying I'm a PhD student at the health science program, and my thesis is about contributing factors among CCU, nurses, vigilance, and patient safety. My question is, what recommendation can I provide the nurses and the hospital administration to mitigate the nurses' burnout, stress, and so on?
Yeah. Yeah, you can just use those things you take away from today. The first thing everyone should do is getting in contact with themselves. So also the nurses and the hospital administrators, they have to learn to perceive stress. Yeah. To prevent burnout, you have to perceive it. If you don't recognize it, it's quite hard to change something like that. So the recognition of symptoms of yeah, like warnings from your body, from your mind, that's the first thing you should do. And you can give those advice also the other ones that they have to work at first on their self-perception, on their stress perception, noticing how I'm typically feeling when I'm stressed, how I typically behave when I'm stressed, what are my stressors? And you can then work with it. If you know that, that's a great basis to come up with, yeah, good strategies and come up with another attitude to some stress factors.
Good. One that everyone is curious is how did you heal? And I think that you, yes,
Yes.
all that you explain us is what you apply to yourself. But yes, I think.
Yeah, how did I heal? So of course it's time. Time is here the medicine. A big factor of my healing was that I really get away from the job. So I get distance, mentally distance, or yeah, a mental distance from my job things, just to put a focus on myself, not on the things outside. That was a really big point here. And of course, I worked with a therapist. I worked with a coach also, just to speak about it and to get to know myself better. So I think these are the main points: how to heal time, getting mental distance, and got some help from outside.
Excellent. Let's take just the last question. There are some more, but we need to be respectful
Yeah.
with everyone's time. Here, there is an attendee asking, I usually feel guilty just for thinking about doing something for myself because I think I should be working or taking care of other tasks. Is there a way to change that guilt to deal with it better?
Yes. Okay, so we can do two things. First of all, please take a sheet of paper, a piece of paper, and a pencil, and write down the 10 things which are most important to you in your life, starting with the most important one. So, first one is the most important one. Just write it down, and then please do this list and see where is your name in this list. If it's not on this list, please ask yourself why you are not on the list. Hopefully you're on position number one. If not, please do that. If you maybe say job is the first thing which is most important to you, there is no job without you. If family, there is no family without you. So you can go through it. You have to be on the first line. That's the first thing you can do, just to get aware of the importance of yourself. And also you can prioritize other things. So it's more mentally switch, a mental change to think, or to get the state of mind that you can be there better for your job, better for your family, if you're feeling good. You can't care about other things if you're not feeling good. Remember, if you're really sick, really, really sick, maybe had a bad headache, do you think you can good present a project? No. So if you're feeling good, then you can be there or care better about your things. And this sentence you can put somewhere where you can read it all the time. Just remember it. You can't care if you don't care about yourself. If you're not feeling good, those things won't be good. And that's the same for your family. You can't be there for friends and family. You can't be the person who support if you're not feeling good and feeling well. And that's a mindset thing you have to understand. And to understand it, you just have to practice and practice and practice and say yourself that the whole time. But also try to prioritize or try to understand that you're the first priority on your list.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. We have taken notes of all these important insights that you provide today during this amazing talk. We cannot thank you enough for being with us today. Thank you, everyone, for attending this master class, and we see you in the next class next week. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much for attending and having me here.
Thank you.